Correct me in the comments if there are many mistakes in this video. Don't forget to subscribe and give 100 comments if you are interested in this new anime. Dariel is a soldier of darkness who has served the Demon King for 32 years, but the second generation king, Bashu Baza, expelled him from the Demon King's army. The other 3 Demon Kings also agreed with the decision, since Dariel was useless. He couldn't use magic and was only a commoner in status. Magic is very important for the Demon King's army, so Dariel doesn't deserve to be here. Dariel was shocked after hearing this. In the past, the first generation Demon King, or Bashubaza's father, had left a message to Dariel to take care of Bashubaza. But Bashubaza says that the Demon King doesn't need a weak link like Dariel. Because of that, Dariel immediately packed his things and left the Demon King's castle. Dariel is also often insulted by the demon race because he is a soldier with the lowest level. One of the people who mocked Dariel was Rizet, but Dariel ignored Rizet's words and immediately wandered around aimlessly. A few days later, Dariel got lost in a large forest and was very hungry. Dariel has also given up on his life because he has no more goals. When Dariel was resting, suddenly a beautiful and sexy girl jumped on top of him. It turned out that the girl was being chased by a monster that had a high rank. Because of that, Dariel immediately helped the girl with the last of his strength and ordered the girl to get out of there as soon as possible.
初歩的な火炎魔法すら使えない。お逃げください。
Dariel manages to kill the monster by imitating the hero's fighting styles. The girl was very impressed with Dariel because he could beat the monster. Even she thought Dariel was a hero, which was often said by the public. Then the girl thanked Dariel because he had helped her. However, Dariel doesn't really care about the girl because she comes from the human race, while Dariel comes from a demon race who always fights with humans. When Dariel will return to continue his journey,
私の村に来てくれませんか？待ってください。
お言葉に甘えてみるか。
美味しい食事とか。
When Dariel arrived at the girl's house, he was very nervous because this was enemy territory for the demon race. But the girl's parents welcomed Dariel kindly. Then they started getting acquainted, the girl's parents, Envil and Erica, and the hot girl, Marika. They asked about Dariel's reason for being in a forest full of monsters like that. Dariel answered very carefully he didn't want to be killed by the humans. Then Dariel tells the incident he experienced days ago while covering up his identity and that of the Demon King. After listening to Dariel's story, Marika cried. The person who took Dariel out was cruel. According to Marika, Dariel is a good person and willing to risk his life for the safety of others. Marika is annoyed at the person who kicked Dariel out. She also holds Dariel's hand and offers him to stay at Marika's family house as many vacant rooms are available. Marika's parents also allowed Dariel to live here. After all, the remote village called Lux Village was short on workers, so Dariel could work in this village if he wanted to. Even Erica was happy that Dariel was able to defeat monsters quickly. In Dariel's mind, he was still hesitating because he was from the demon race, but he sensed that Marika wanted him to live together in this house. Because of that, Dariel accepted Marika's family's offer.
に食事を。
あら、今すぐ用意しますね。
At night, Marika wanted to have a little chat with Dariel. Marika thanked him once again. Since long ago, Marika had always been relied on by others and never met the man who protected her. Because of that, Marika was pleased to meet a strong man like Dariel. He was the first man who willingly protected her from monster attacks.
魔族が人間の娘を助けるか。変なの。
それだけです。じゃあ、おやすみなさい。
The next day, Dariel is offered a job as an adventurer by Envil. Envil was the leader of the Adventurers Guild in this village, so he asked Dariel to make an adventurer's aura spell contract first. But Dariel deliberately pretended to be sick to escape from there. He didn't want his identity as a demon race to be known by them. Then Envil deliberately ordered Marika to force Dariel to make the contract.
多くのスパイがこれに敗れ包帯ぐるぐる巻きで帰ってきたんだって。熱い。まずい。俺が魔族だってバレてしまう。
登録完了じゃ。
Daryl was surprised because the aura contract could enter him without any problem. He just realized that all this time, he was from the human race who lived in the demon nation. In the past, Daryl was a child adopted by a first-generation demon king and raised by him. But now, he will live in the human race, true to Daryl's origin. Then Envil will train Daryl how to use the spell aura. Marika also saw Daryl train today. The level of compatibility of each adventure in each class is very different. So Daryl must choose a class that matches the spell aura. 4 types of the aura are Slash, Sting, Hit, and Defend. First, Daryl will try to use a sword and immediately use the power of spell aura, according to instructions from Envil. After Daryl could use his powers, Envil told Daryl to try one by one of the 4 types of aura.
すごいの若いの。
弓すげえ。俺は木製なのに。父さん、そのハンマー鉄製ですよね。待って。
30年。
すみません。
It turns out that all types of the aura are very compatible with Daryl. Envil was envious because he had been an excellent adventurer for years, but he was only suited to one class. Marika was amazed and happy because Daryl could use 4 types of aura without problems.
リンゴ一発で命中です。
After that, they discussed Daryl's abilities, but Daryl didn't know why he could exert too much power like this. Then Envil advised Daryl to register with the Adventurers Guild in the city center, which adventurers really dream of. Envil knew that Daryl's immense power could be more beneficial if he became an adventurer there. Envil had never seen an adventurer with such a high level of compatibility across all types of spell auras. Then Daryl saw Marika crying. She was sure that Daryl would go to the city center. After seeing that, Daryl finally decided to stay in Lux Village and would help Envil do the work of an adventurer. He wanted to repay the kindness that Marika's family had bestowed on him. Daryl also apologized that this decision might have been selfish, but he still didn't want to go to the city center. Upon hearing that, Marika and Envil were overjoyed that the Lux Village could finally get another adventure.
これでいい。俺のセカンドライフはここから始めるんだ。
Then Envil introduced Daryl to the residents of Lux Village. Before long, there was a teenage boy who was arrogant to Daryl. His name is Gashida. Daryl was still at E rank, so he had to obey Gashida, who was at D rank. After Gashida left there, Envil apologized to Daryl because Gashida had been like that long ago. Envil hopes that Gashida can change when he goes on a quest with Daryl. After that, Envil gave the first quest to Daryl, collecting herbs. Lux Village's Adventurers Guild was receiving a lot of quests like this. Envil also warned Daryl to be careful when looking for herbs in the forest. Recently, there have been a lot of high-rank monsters roaming around. Even Gashida had been running a quest for one of the high-rank monsters for 6 months, and he couldn't beat it. Then when Envil showed Gashida's quest to Daryl,